Aim assist has been the internet's boogeyman for the last few years, with things reaching a critical point as aim assist is getting stronger and stronger for newer titles, with the mouse and keyboard users pushing back and leading into a more loaded landscape than Twitter during any election season. And why wouldn't there be division? Mouse and keyboard players feel slighted as the raw input is being outperformed by the game aiming for their enemies and producing better and more consistent results with a minimal amount of the effort. For example, Halo, a traditional console shooter, recently opened its doors for crossplay, allowing the combination of PC and console lobbies. Mouse and keyboard users quickly got fed up with the sheer strength of aim assist as they get dominated on the daily. It is so bad that the 50th percentile of controller players are just as accurate as the top 100 mouse and keyboard players, and the top 100 controller players are so far ahead of the competition that mouse and keyboard just doesn't stand a chance. Call of Duty is another traditional controller FPS series that has been under a lot of fire recently. Its new title, Modern Warfare 2, has an insanely strong aim assist that practically plays the game for you. The professional scene, so the actual pros who play on controller because nobody uses a mouse and keyboard in COD, unanimously agree that aim assist is too strong. Scump, the current GOAT of COD, agrees.
Aim assist is just so great. Bro, like nowadays in COD, like they took out so much of the skill of aiming with like controller with dynamic aim assist. It's actually like, dude, you don't even have to aim anymore. Like, not even trolling.
Apex Legends is in a constant state of mouse and keyboard versus controller, as unlike those other titles, Apex has an existing, but admittedly dying mouse and keyboard player base. The game's community consists of players from all walks of gaming, and some of those games don't have a controller community, and the other games not having a mouse and keyboard community. It also has movement techniques, keybinds, and more tricks that are near impossible to accomplish on a controller, but at the same time, a time to kill that favors digitally assisted aim, as the user has to keep their aim smooth and steady throughout a second or so to get a one clip. Apex Legends, unlike many other titles with strong aim assist, also has rotational aim assist, where the aim will keep sticking on a target that strafes in the opposite direction with a 0 millisecond reaction time, and recoil smoothing, which removes recoil if your aim moves smooth enough, which it is guaranteed to do through the physical design of a controller. Apex is in a situation much like Call of Duty, where the casual community is going against pros and streamers and clamoring that aim assist isn't that strong, while prominent figures like Ken Burton, considered one of the best controller players in the world, says it's too strong, and Snipedown, legendary Halo ex-pro and current Apex professional, calls the controller community delusional.
Way harder to aim with the sticks than your whole arm. Maybe if there was no aim assist, guy. Dude, I'm not kidding. I know I'm a controller player, but controller players are delusional, bro. Literally delusional.
And I've always found this topic fascinating, because any gamer who has been around for a while might remember when the talk of crossplay in general was starting to make the rounds after 2005, during the height of the console wars. Gamers either owned an Xbox, PlayStation, and in some rare cases a PC for gaming, but they didn't have any way of connecting with each other to play games. Microsoft saw a market opening and started conducting some early research to see if crossplay would be successful, and what they found completely killed the idea of crossplay for years to come. In the early 2010, Microsoft conducted an experiment where they put Xbox and PC gamers up against each other in the shooter titles Unreal Tournament 3 and Gears of War. The idea behind the project was to let PC and Xbox players interact on some kind of multiplayer platform, but what they found was that when PC gamers played against Xbox gamers, the console gamers got destroyed every time. It was so one-sided that even when Microsoft tried putting the best console gamers against the worst PC gamers, the result remained the same. The result of the project was that the console gamers got destroyed every time, and they got destroyed so much that it would be embarrassing for the Xbox team if Microsoft had launched this initiative, and that left things dormant for a while, at least as far as the idea of crossplay went. In the meantime, the console wars continued. Xbox and PlayStation were going at it about whichever console was better, with the rise of the PC Master Race on the side. PC Master Race also boasted a higher performance at a lower price point, with better graphics and higher frame rates that any console could dream of. It is no surprise that the self-named PC Master Race developed a superiority complex. It is literally in the name. The idea of mixing inputs was seen as impossible, where the closest option was plugging in a controller into your PC and going through wonky settings just to get it to work in the first place, or plugging a XIM adapter into your console to use a mouse and keyboard when playing on console, which was considered cheating. And it is really hard to nail down where exactly the aim assist debate started. If we look at aim assist as a whole, it's been in gaming since way before the 2000s, but it wasn't a problem until recently. Obviously, there wasn't much of a clash of the communities until you start mixing the inputs, where one input will be objectively stronger than the other because the users of the lesser input will feel slighted and speak up about it. And of course, there's no good way to balance inputs because you fundamentally can't balance separate inputs to the point where players are on the same level. Aim assist exists because aiming on a thumbstick and holding a finicky controller is really hard. There are fewer buttons to press, and you have less control over the game as both your movement and aim are limited to your thumbs maneuvering a three-dimensional stick. Not only that, but consoles generally play on lower resolutions and lower frame rates with some input lag, like the PC Master Race movement had been going on about for so long. It is just hard in general, which is why aim assist has existed in console games for so long. And recently, when you put it up against the PCs, like in Microsoft's test back in 2010, the console player just wouldn't have a chance. Aim assist is meant to bridge the gap between a hard-to-use thumbstick and the control of a keyboard, but it's an artificial handicap, and players who learn how to master the sticks as well as the aim assist itself are going to have a massive advantage over raw input gamers. Game developers are in a bit of a pickle here because if they make aim assist too weak, the casual console players will suffer against the mouse and keyboard players, and if you make the aim assist too overtuned, the very top of the controller player base will abuse this handicap and absolutely demolish mouse and keyboard gamers, as we can see in Halo, Call of Duty, and Apex Legends. Aim assist is a hot topic right now, and as I said, does have a pretty long history, but if you go off Google's search trends, it didn't really start being talked about until about 2017. And this is when crossplay started entering mainstream shooters through giants like Fortnite. Fortnite actually had its fair share of controller controversies with an aim assist that tracked enemies through walls and has a very strong magnetism. One could argue that Fortnite was that one turning point where aim assist had gotten strong enough to overpower mouse and keyboard in shooters. Around this time, some games like Overwatch had firmly made a stance and said that while they will allow cross-platform gaming, they won't allow aim assist against PC players, which makes sense. Since Overwatch has a time to kill much like Apex's, it's designed with esports in mind, and mixing input instantly destroys competitive integrity because, as I touched on earlier, there is just no way to balance inputs without giving one of them an unfair advantage. The decision was respected by the communities, and the explanation made sense. But when Overwatch 2 was released this year, new console players quickly realized that, wait, there's no aim assist in crossplay, and there's no aim assist if I plug in my controller into my PC. This was considered unfair by the masses that had gotten used to being catered to with the ever-creeping strength of aim assist, and Blizzard eventually backed down and ended up allowing aim assist in casual lobbies. Time will tell whether this will bleed into ranked and competitive as well. The point is that we're seeing more and more AAA titles not only allowing crossplay, but giving the casual console and controller players so much handicap that they get an incredible upper hand, all while suppressing the skill expression from mouse and keyboard. My main game, Apex Legends, is losing mouse and keyboard players by the day, and the upper bracket of the skill lobbies on PC is starting to look like any other console lobby. The top fraggers in the professional games are almost exclusively playing on a controller, and the community just fails to see it. Almost every up-and-coming pro is a controller player. Most mechanically skilled mouse and keyboard players have simply given up or left to other titles such as Valorant or Counter-Strike. The casual community either can't or doesn't want to see the problem. If you keep buffing aim assist, it will take over, and before you know it, you aren't playing the game yourself anymore. There won't be much of a skill gap between the bottom and the top players, and even competitive shooters turn into a boring mess, people pointing AI in each other's directions. I'm gonna be honest, as a PC and mouse and keyboard player since I was an early teen over 10 years ago, this scares me. It's not enjoyable to get destroyed by digitally assisted gamers. I don't feel outskilled, but I also don't want to switch to controller just so I have a fighting chance. I don't think having the game aim for me is fun, and I really hope that things don't get worse from here. But if you look at gaming for the last few years and how it's been continuing to make things easier for casual players at the expense of diehard fans, it looks like aim assist is here to stay, and the reign of manual mouse and keyboard input is coming to an end. Thank you for listening to my thoughts on this. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, maybe subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow.